Hey guys, in this video we're looking at the basic exterior package for a maintenance detail, what that includes, what that does not include from your regular exterior details, and talking about how to increase profitability with maintenance clients and the services you offer. Now make sure as we start you guys go below in the YouTube description box and grab my free guide to starting your auto detailing business for under $500 so you get the right tools and chemicals that you need and you don't have to waste time and waste money on stuff that ends up not working. Now let's get into the video. Alright guys, as always, let me open up with a little bit of context. This is a Tesla Model 3, super awesome, and I have been seeing it about basically once a month, every 4 weeks, for about the past half a year. So this is a relatively new maintenance client here. One of my favorite maintenance clients actually, just because I love detailing Teslas. The way they're designed, the way they're manufactured, particularly just the exterior, it's just so simple. It kind of reminds me of the simplicity of like the iPhone or Apple, and so that is just a lot of kind of a weight off my shoulders when it comes to detailing. A lot of times you can get into the intricacies of, say, something as, menial as like the front grille of an exterior, and it just gets difficult to get your brushes in there and your rags in there and your chemicals in there. And the Tesla's kind of just very simplistic and straightforward, and there is no front grille, and it's just kind of easy to deal with. So I would encourage you guys, get Teslas on your maintenance plans. Now, I want to go ahead and get into the concept of this video. Basically, what we're talking about here is, what do you offer when it comes to a maintenance plan? So many of you guys are building your maintenance client list. You're building regular clientele to create regular income on a monthly basis, on a bi-monthly basis in your business. And you're kind of understanding this idea of creating a detailing business based on recurring revenue. But of course, the question comes up, let's say when I'm doing an exterior detail, Luke, on my maintenance client's vehicle, what am I actually supposed to do that takes me so much less time versus what I normally do with my exterior details? So let's go ahead and talk about this. The first and most practical thing that I would encourage you guys to do is take your basic list of services, divide it from interior and exterior, and that way you have something to reference. So for example, what I would do is take my little Google Sheets, I would explain, or I would write down bulleted everything I do for the exterior on the average one-off customer, and then I would put a little T-chart right next to it, and I would list out what is necessary and not necessary for a maintenance detail. So to get into the weeds here, you guys can see me doing a couple things. Number one, I'm spraying down the wheel wells, tires, and the wheels. When it comes to the wheel wells, I'm still scrubbing them with my long-handled brush, as opposed to the sidewall of the tire, which I'm spraying my degreaser on, but I'm not actually scrubbing the tires. Why is that? This is one of those areas of the maintenance detailing service package that can be taken off from your basic service package when it comes to a maintenance detail. The tire was just detailed. It was just cleaned, and the sidewall hasn't had enough time to accrue enough dirt to justify me spending a bunch of time agitating it, as opposed to the wheel well, which is fabric. Even though I see it once a month, I still need to scrub it, even though I scrubbed it just last month. Now, the scrubbing's not going to take me very much time at all because I scrubbed it 4 weeks ago, but I still need to scrub it nonetheless because the wheel well is going to get the brunt of everything that the road has to offer. And so even though I see this vehicle on a regular basis, this is one of those areas I can't get around. But once again, the sidewall of the tire is one of those areas I can get around. So rule number one right there, to go ahead and cross off the list, sidewall of the tire, no need to scrub it. That's step number one. Now you also saw as I was doing the wheels, I'm not using my Speedmaster brush to go on the interior of the barrel of the wheel. That is not necessary every time. I might do that once every 3 or 4 times that I see this vehicle, probably about once every 3 times. So that's number 2. I go ahead and X that out. Now I'm moving to the foam cannon, to the pre-washing stage of my detail. This is an area actually where it's a bit counterintuitive because I don't always foam down vehicles that I see on a one-time basis. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. However, I always foam down the exterior of the vehicle when it's a maintenance client and it's a nicer car, simply because I'm washing this car so often. Yes, absolutely, the foam cannon will reduce scratching over time. There's no question. Now, the reason I say this is a little bit counterintuitive is because sometimes you'll have a one-off customer. It's a really nasty minivan and the exterior is riddled with scratches anyways, and I might actually wash that car very quickly. It might take a little bit less time than the average maintenance detail because I'm just using something like a quick rinseless wash. But once again, this situation calls for the pre-foam, the pre-washing. However, this does not add any sort of significant time to the maintenance package whatsoever. So if you're worried about time, the pre-foam stage does not need to be something that you worry deeply about. Now, moving on to the agitation wash. This is one of those areas in the maintenance detail where, of course, you're not going to be able to take it off. This is going to be on your one-off details, your disposable details, but it's also going to be on your maintenance details. However, the wash that I'm going to do here is going to be much less specific, much less detailed, and much less time-consuming than the wash would be on a one-off customer. Once again, because I washed this 4 weeks ago, but more importantly, because I protected it with a ceramic spray 4 weeks ago, the wash takes barely any time, and of course the pre-foaming, pre-washing stage makes the wash even easier. Because this vehicle remains protected every single 4 weeks, the foam cannon actually becomes very effective and makes my job easier as I move into the agitation wash. So this isn't even something that I would want to remove from my maintenance package, but it is important to understand that while no, I can't remove it, it does become probably at least like 3 to 4 times quicker than my average details when I have not seen the vehicle on a regular basis. The other thing to keep in mind that we don't talk about very much is when I am protecting the vehicle every single 4 weeks, it means that the paint is staying in really good condition. The clear coat is not going to fall into any sort of breaking down or degradation. Because of that, the clear coat can do what it's meant to do and keep the car from being ruined by dirt, by surface dirt, by dust, by all of those things. One of the big time sucks with a one-off detail, a non-maintenance detail, is the washing stage, because you're having to put in a lot of work because essentially the clear coat is no longer doing its job. It's not easy to remove dirt from the clear coat because it's degraded at such a level. And so this is just yet another reason why the maintenance client strategy here cuts down on time so significantly, so exponentially, because I'm not having to put in a bunch of work. In fact, I'm barely moving my mitt around here. I'm not putting any pressure on the car. I'm not having to stop in any areas and really scrub. You guys can see it's basically just dragging my mitt around and throwing my pressure washer all over the car and making sure that I knock all of that stuff off. Now, the thing that you're going to see here, once again, that I'm going to be able to actually cut out of my maintenance detail that I cannot cut out of my one-off details is a clay bar. I do not clay the vehicle every single month. There would be absolutely no need to clay the vehicle every single month. So here I am only going to clay the areas that are necessary, and that's going to be the front area, the front grille area, and of course the bottom rocker panels on both the left and the right side. Something else to note that I'm cutting out of the maintenance detail that I cannot cut out of the average one-off detail is I am only going to dry the areas that are glass and that are easily spotted with water. So I'm going to dry the areas up top with my towel. I'm going to dry the windshield, and I'm going to dry all the windows, but I am actually going to let the rest of the vehicle, the painted surfaces, not the chrome pieces or the glass, but the painted surfaces, dry in the sun, because I use a ceramic spray every 4 weeks and have for some time now. This car does not get any water spots on it. It's a very good deal. This customer's water is a little bit softer than normal, but at the same time, once again, because the clear coat is completely intact and there's a constant protection laid on top of it, this car does not spot. And so once again, I'm reducing my time, cutting out this drying phase, just drying the necessary areas. And of course, here in the video, you can see me clay barring those bottom rocker panels that I talked about, as well as the front area. Now, here's where I go into protection mode. Once again, I cut out the clay bar phase completely, saving a ton of time. And so I'm using HydroSelect's Recharge, just another type of ceramic spray on top of the paint. I'm not going to put it on the windows here. I'm going to use a specific glass cleaner, but I am going to coat the entire painted surfaces as well as chrome and plastic, particularly with the ceramic sprays and the silica soaps that you use, is because I just did this. In some ways, I'm not just putting a ceramic spray on top of the paint, but I'm actually putting a ceramic spray on top of the ceramic spray, on top of the ceramic spray, on top of the ceramic spray that I had last month put on, and last month, and the previous month, and the previous month. And so this just makes the experience, once again, all the more quick, I guess I would say. So just like I can't cut out washing the car, but because of the maintenance schedule, washing becomes extremely easy, it's the same exact story here. Of course, I can't cut out the protection phase, but this is going to be 3 to 4 times quicker than any one-off average car. Now, just like we talked about the washing phase as well, it's because the clear coat is in such good condition. This is just a byproduct, a sort of added benefit of the maintenance client strategy. The car stays in such fantastic condition, you don't need to be an expert detailer to keep it looking absolutely unbelievable. So just like this is sped up because I took care of it 4 weeks ago, it's also sped up because the clear coat is in such fantastic condition, and it takes absolutely no effort to apply this spray product. And in some ways, guys, I don't even have to buff it off with my dry side. Now, I do always buff it off with my dry side, but if you guys have detailed any cars for any length of time, you'll know that as clear coat begins to degrade, you end up actually sometimes having to deal with really frustrating and difficult to fix streaks with your final protection product, because the clear coat does not bond to the chemical as it is supposed to, because it's degraded to such a level. And so you end up having this really difficult sort of thing, like, how do I protect it and make it look good without getting all these streaks? And so once again, I'm just going on and on about not only what makes it faster with a maintenance client, but also what makes it better as far as the end result is concerned. Now here I'm just using a glass cleaner. That this one, when I'm talking about not using the dry side to buff it off, I was actually experimenting with this particular glass cleaner, and this one dries very, very, very well on the paint. In fact, I overuse it a bit, because glass cleaner is a great way to test them, is to use more than you normally would and see how they dry streak free, or with streaks, all that sort of stuff. Now, guys, after that, all I'm going to do is go ahead and dress the tires and finish this maintenance detail completely. So, guys, that is how I speed up very simply with cutting out unnecessary services that do not need to be applied to a maintenance detail, but do need to be applied to a one-off detail. It cuts your time in half, if not more so. Let's go ahead and check out the end result. Alright guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Teslas are some of my favorite vehicles to detail, particularly the exterior, because they're just so simple and straightforward, and that after result is so sweet. So guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more info on all things detailing business, and of course tools and products as well. And of course, if you guys want to see any of the tools and products specifically used in this video, they'll be hooked up very organized in the YouTube description box below. Check out those links if you want to see those chemicals. And from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.